We're going to go to a wedding, and they don't want to have anything to do with the fact that we're public, so we're just going to have a good time there. The bride and groom, last time I talked to the bride, they'd been told that Kody wasn't going to go. This is the deal. We say a lot of things behind each other's back. We just do, and it's pretty terrible to hear what everybody says about everybody behind their backs.
I don't want to be there with people looking at me but not talking to me. I'm still terribly hurt by everything that has happened.
Hey friends, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. It is Wednesday, October 2nd, 2024. I hope everyone's having a wonderful day. Well, let's talk because we watched an episode on Sunday where Kody, Robyn, Janelle, Christine, Mary all went to a wedding. And this event was discussed for like the first part of the first half of this episode. And each one of them sharing, their experience with the drama of going to this event, discussing a very vague bride and groom. And Christine starts off the narration of this episode by flat out saying, these people don't want anything to do with us being public. Now, people on this show that watch the show, when they say public, I think a lot of people assume that they're public polygamists, right? What she means, though, is that they're on a show. They're public figures. They use public as a code word for show. So really what she was saying is these people want nothing to do with the fact that we're on a show. Thus, meaning they had told Kody, Robyn, Christine, Janelle, Mary, whoever, that they did not want to be featured on the show. They didn't want the episode. They didn't want an episode on it. They didn't have it filmed. They really didn't want it discussed. And yet they discussed it anyway. This was confirmed by Logan Brown's wife, Michelle. And another detail about the exploitation that occurred in this episode is that Mykelti Padron has confirmed that she was not paid a dime for the work she did filming her birth for the show. So Mykelti's birth was the last half an hour of that episode. She did all the heavy lifting. She's the one that went into surgery. She's the one that gave birth. She's the one that delivered the kids. She's the one that went through all of the medical appointments, all of that. So when she's being filmed in Dr. Bean's office, not paid. When she's in the OR, not paid. When she's sitting in her house and she's talking about all the things that are happening, not paid. But guess who was paid? Christine and Robyn, two people that were not actually doing any of the heavy lifting. So Christine and Robyn, their drama was the focal point of Mykelti's birth, which was a backdrop of filming for their drama. They basically exploited Mykelti's birth for free and then added their own commentary. We're going to talk about how messy this is and how this is actually the same thing that Jill Duggar went through when she had her kids on TV. She also wasn't paid. I don't know how TLC can actually sleep at night knowing that there's literally people that are on these shows not being paid and being exploited, and all of these networks are profiting. And meanwhile, Mykelti has a Patreon so that she can actually make money because she's not getting paid by her mom or by Kody. Okay, so the wedding was this big sticking point, right? We talked about this in my first episode about how Kody said he didn't want to go, and Robyn was all worried about, running into everyone, how awkward it was going to be. Kody said that, he was put in the back in a corner with Robyn for his safety.
The reason I suggested I shouldn't go is just all the hate that I'm getting from family members. Mostly just all the talk from Christine and Janelle. We're all culpable in this. I'm not in the place where I'm like, oh, I'm just forgiving you guys, so it's all good now. I'm just not there yet. Robyn and I were put over kind of in a corner, probably for our safety. We were kept, it was just in the back.
Okay, so Before the wedding, Kody told Logan that he didn't believe he wanted to go, mostly because there was so much hate in the family and all the crap talking that was happening on the show that he's hearing. Christine even admitted that because they're on a show, they do a lot of talking behind each other's backs, and she hates it. She hates hearing what other people say about her. She hates knowing what they think about her, and then they don't say it to each other's face. So the complicated dynamic of this family, of polygamy being the problem for it blowing up, is exacerbated and amplified by the fact that they're also on a television show where they're all connected still via contracts, and where their entire lives are sold to TLC. So TLC has the right to basically talk about film anything they want of the family. The family has no say in how it's edited. They have no say in how it's, how the storylines evolve or change, or what they show, or who they make look good or who they make look bad, or how it's all delivered. They really can use any of the footage and exploit it in any way that they see fit to make a show entertaining. At the end of the day, they're filming a show to entertain viewers. So the family that's involved and under the contract is giving up their right to privacy. However, the people that are not on the show and who do not have a contract with TLC don't have that same agreement. Logan and Michelle are not on the show anymore. Logan hasn't been on Sister Wives other than like in the background at Christine's wedding, and Michelle was at the sprinkle for McKelty, but she didn't speak. She was just there at the event, and her face showed up briefly. They're not on the show. They're not actually cast members. They don't have a contract. So they actually do have a right to privacy. If they don't want something filmed, they don't have to let cameras in, and they're not under breach of contract. However, Kody, Robyn, Janelle, Christine, they are under contract, and if TLC wants to exploit it, they can. And Kody is known to develop storylines and plot lines with the producer, Tim Gibbons. Cody's the primary principal of the show, meaning when they signed the contracts, they signed it with Kody Brown and the Kody Brown Family Entertainment LLC. That then changed to Dab Sark Entertainment, which is Kody and Robyn. So at the end of the day, Christine, Janelle, and Mary do have a say, but it's not as big as Cody's say, because Kody is the primary principal, meaning he's the primary lead cast of the show. The show was designed around Kody and his wives. The wives are numbers. Kody and his wives. It's not Kody, Janelle, Mary, Christine, Robyn. Kody and his wives. So Kody is exploiting a wedding through TLC, one that doesn't want to be filmed, for profit. Naturally, word got around, and Michelle Petty, Logan's wife, was responding on TikTok to a creator talking about this episode. And Michelle said, "We told the family we preferred the wedding not to be mentioned on the show at all, but we knew we couldn't control what they talk about. We had no clue that it would be a 20-minute plot point." In fairness, the wedding episode part of the show was the first, I think, 11 minutes of the episode, or 12 minutes. So not totally 20 minutes, but either way, it's a long part. The first half of the episode was about this wedding. So she says that they told them, "We don't want to be on the show." They understand they can't control what is said on the show. But generally speaking, if someone is requesting that they not be involved in a show, and they're telling you and asking that you not film, and you can't force them to film because you're not paying them. Like, let's be clear. Part of the reason why some of these kids don't want to be on the show is because they're not getting paid. And so why would they put their lives out for entertainment and connect it to a show where their event is going to be used for drama? McKelty confirmed on her Patreon that she was well aware that anything that they filmed that included her would not be about her, and that it would be used as a way for the family to talk about the problems in the family. So every event, everything they're doing is an intentional film so that Kody, Robyn, Christine, and Janelle, and Mary can overlay it with commentary about all the problems they're having in the family. So that's where they add the drama. Even though drama at the actual event didn't happen, Do you see what's going on here? So there isn't really drama that happens at the wedding. Everyone ignores each other and they pretend like they don't care about each other. They wave hi and that's it. That's not drama. Drama would have been fighting, screaming, yelling, getting angry, flipping tables. But that's not what happens in this world, apparently, in Mormon fundamentalism, which is wild considering that, Robyn says that, it's not safe to go to these events. So if nothing happens, no altercations occur, really all they're doing is just adding drama to a situation that didn't need to have drama added to it for the sake of profiting off of a show. So the exploitation is that even though Logan didn't want to be a part of the show, even though his name is not mentioned, even though Michelle's name is not mentioned, the timeline and what they've put out publicly prove it's Logan. Because Christine said in that part of the episode that McKelty could not attend the wedding because she was put on extreme bed rest, which I don't even know what that means because there's just bed rest, and that she couldn't go because she was going to be delivering the twins in a few weeks. That would have put the wedding in October 2022. That's exactly when Logan got married. Some people assumed it was Gwendolyn's wedding, but it's not because Gwendolyn got married in July 2023. McKelty was at the wedding along with her 2 boys that she delivered and was not pregnant with. And they said a bride and groom. They didn't say a bride and a bride. They've never talked about other family members' weddings on this show other than those that are in their immediate family. Every other wedding that has happened in this family of those that have been married, other than Leon, who is married to Audrey, has been featured on this series. So Maddie got married on the show. McKelty got married on the show. Aspen got married on the show. None of them got paid for that, by the way. And there was a storyline in between Maddie's and McKelty's weddings about McKelty having the audacity to get engaged while Madison's getting married. Like, seriously. Like, she was trying to upstage her sister, and couldn't she just wait to let Maddie have her moment? Because you can stop love that way. So everything is about drama, and it's all about using the people in their family to create storylines. These adults, Kody, Janelle, Robyn, Christine, Mary, other than Mary, Mary's not using her child on the show anymore. Mary hasn't even mentioned her child in the last 2 or 3 seasons. So, but the others are using their kids for storylines, which is interesting because why don't they just use their own lives as a storyline? It's almost like they don't have their own drama or they don't want to use their own lives for drama. And so they're relying on their kids to do the heavy lifting, the kids' major life events, births, graduations, sprinkles, engagement parties, weddings, not paying them for it. So they're all working, but they're not getting paid. And then they get to go onto a show, they get to commentate over it, they get to add their drama, they get to turn that family event into entertainment for the masses. Naturally, why would I blame Kody more than the other women? Because Kody is the one that's the primary principal of this series. He's the main cast member. He's the star. As much as we don't like Kody Brown, the show doesn't exist without him because all of the drama right now about the show is circulating around Kody. Kody's relationships breaking up are the literal storyline and plot line of Sister Wives. Kody is the main character. He's the main principal. He is the show. As much as I hate that about Kody Brown in the show, the women are supporting cast members. And because there's 4 of them, their storylines are not as prominent as Kody's because Kody exists in every single storyline because he's talked about in every single storyline. Even if Christine and Janelle do something that is separate from Kody, they inevitably talk about Kody because Kody is the center of the family. He was the man that had children with all of them. The storyline revolves around his crumbling life. That's what this show has become. And the subplots are Christine moving on, Janelle moving on, Mary moving on. And then the primary main plot is what does Kody do with his life now that everything has blown up in his face? And this is why he is allowed to bitch and complain and throw shade and take no accountability because he's the star. He gets to say whatever he wants He gets to frame it however he wants. He gets to not take responsibility. He gets to deflect, project, verbally abuse. It's all Kody. Because Cody's the primary main character, he also is the one that will meet ahead of time with production and talk about to them what he wants to film, what is the storyline going to be for this upcoming season, what direction are we going to go? Because all these episodes are built out ahead of time. So they have to decide ahead of time, like, what are we going to talk about for episode 3? What's episode 4 going to be? What's episode 5 going to be? All of these events that are being filmed, they have a budget and they're paid for by production. So they're reimbursed for any of these events. They get a certain amount of money for weddings, they get a certain amount extra for births. So on top of the fact that Kody gets more money than everyone else on the show, he's also getting bonuses for births and weddings. And Jill Duggar talks about this in her book, Counting the Cost. They got extra money for weddings and births because those episodes drive in more ratings. So knowing that, they build the episodes around what's going to drive ratings, what events are going to make people tune in. If all they did was just sit around on the couch and did nothing, no one would watch. And that's kind of what's happening this season, is that they're not doing anything. The kids aren't actively participating on the show. A lot of the kids have drawn back and drawn out. Think about all the kids that you don't see on the show anymore. In the first 3 episodes of this season, we have not seen Gabriel. We've barely seen Savannah. We haven't seen Garrison. Garrison now is past, but this was filmed in 2022. We've seen Maddie. We've seen McKelty, Isabel briefly, but she hasn't had any like interviews. She's just more like in the filming. Same with Aspen. She's there when it's filmed, but Aspen and Isabel aren't speaking on the couch. There's been some other family members at some of the events, but again, they're not speaking. So they're more just like extras, I guess, for the filming. So really, it's the 5 adults now that are doing this, but I blame Kody because Cody's the driving force behind all of it. And why do I call it labor trafficking is because no one's benefiting more than Kody off of this. Kody and Robyn have been the primary benefactors of all the money from this show. They have been the benefactors of the wealth, of the gifts, of the accolades, of the fame. The other women have had benefits, but not to the extent that Kody and Robyn have had. And so at the end of the day, who's ever benefiting the greatest is the person that is to blame. Cody's the one that has the final say. So why are the women going along with it? I don't know. They're complicit. They know that they're going to be talked about regardless, so they're going to participate. They're getting paid now. Some of their kids participate because they know they're going to get talked about, so they might as well film. But it's not fair. It's not fair to do the work and not get paid. In what other world would you go and show up for a day of filming and not expect to get paid? If they were an actor, they would get a fee, but they're not. So they're just backdrop people. And then how Kody controls them is by making them sign NDAs. So when kids do show up to film, some of them are forced to sign non-disclosure agreements. And part of that includes not talking about dad online and not bashing him to ruin his show, which is again why some kids don't film. Who wants to, like Gwendolyn showed up at her engagement party, which was being filmed for the show, and it was supposed to be about her. And before she could even walk into her own engagement party, she was forced to sign an NDA with the network. At that point, she said she will never film again. She will never be involved in any filming. I think it's one of the primary reasons why she did not attend her wedding, Christine's wedding. I also think it's another reason why she is disconnected from both Kody and from Christine, because I think she feels like she's been exploited by both of them. And she's unfollowed Christine on Instagram at this point. The elephant in the room is the exploitation of the show and how it's impacted the family, but it's never discussed. And now we're hearing from some of the kids about what it feels like. And it sounds a lot like what Jim Bob Duggar did to his family. And at what point do the kids actually start advocating for themselves to the network and saying, I deserve to be paid? I'm frankly surprised TLC hasn't been sued at this point as by like a class action of all of these kids that have been exploited. It should be a crime for what they're doing. They should be fined, penalized, but there's no legislation protecting children on reality television. So what are your thoughts? Let me know about your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed, and click the bell so you never miss a video. Thanks everyone. Bye guys.